Hello, 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 guys. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good wherever you are. You are welcome to Marriage Life. Marriage Life. Marriage Life. It's time to rest assured that something beneficial, something better, something good is about to, to, to come on your way. Marriage Life intends to provide you with any available um, elements or features that will um, boost your marriage. Either you are in marriage at the moment, or you'll be in marriage, or you enter into one. My prayer at all time is that people will celebrate their marriages. My prayer is that God will give those who are expecting marriages, good marriages, God will provide people with good marriages. My prayer is that every damages in marriages will be fixed. My prayer is that every enemy that try to hinder you from marrying, or from from celebrating your marriage, that enemy will be ashamed, and you will be successful. Your marriage will be successful to the glory of God, because God, God, who instigated marriage, expect every marriage to be joyful and peaceful, which includes your marriage. So marriage life intends to give you every resources that your married need. Almost every resources that your married need. If you only um, be humble and then focus on the every uh, information that this platform will provide into your life. Today or tonight, we are about to look at the topic fixing the damages in your marriage. Still, we are continuing fixing the damages in your marriage under the sub topic, who erects the roadblock? Who erects the roadblock? Heavenly Father, let's say a prayer. Jesus, we love you. Jesus, we adore you. We are praying. I pray in the name of Jesus, my God, that Lord, have your way. And Lord, use me to speak to your people. And use the words you have put into me to liberate marriages and to refresh people's marriages. And Lord, I come against every hindrances and every interruption. And I pray, I say, Holy Spirit, have your way. Visit and touch people wherever they are. Everyone who hear the sound of my voice, I pray, my God, that the Spirit of God will surround them, will guide them, will preserve them, and will guide them and lead them into successful and peaceful marriage. Jehovah, have your way in Jesus' name. Amen. Fixing the damages in your marriage. Who erects the roadblock? Today's topic intends to look at fixing the damages in your marriage and also avoiding avoiding the damages in your marriage life. Now, the roadblock here refers to the danger the danger that most people encounter on their journeys into relationship. And also, whilst they are already in the marriage, the danger that most people encounter, other on the way to during the preparation to marriage, and also whenever you are in it already, the damages or the danger in the marriage. That is what I've called the roadblock. You might be driving towards your destination, and all of a sudden, somewhere in the middle of the road, you may encounter a signboard that had been erected ahead of you with the inscription, "Danger ahead, danger ahead, stop." So in this scenario, there are 4 underlined basic features which need to be considered when you are on your way driving and you get to somewhere in the middle of the road, and then all of a sudden you experience a signpost, a warning sign, "Stop, danger ahead of you." I said there are 4 things. There are 4 things in this aspect. There are 4 underlying basic features which need to be considered. Number 1, you consider the warning sign. The warning sign. And number 2, you consider the danger behind the warning sign, which I call the roadblock. And then the third feature is who has designed the danger or the roadblock. And then the last feature is yourself encountering the roadblock. What kind of decision do you intend to make, or do you intend making? What kind of decision? So these 4, number 1, you consider the warning sign. And number 2, you consider the danger behind the warning sign, which I call the roadblock. And then number 3, you consider who designed the damage or the roadblock. And then the 4th or the last one, yourself, and yourself heading towards or seeing the sign or heading towards the roadblock, yourself encountering the roadblock, what kind of decision do you intend to make? Sometimes you must notice that the one who has placed the warning sign might not be the one who has caused the roadblock. For instance, sometimes you see that when you see the road, those who are working on the road, or who are construction, the road engineers and construction, so sometimes you see that some people are busy doing their job or doing the work and breaking the road and breaking everything, working there, and other people will be placing the signboard or doing the signboard, something, placing signboard, a warning sign that there is danger ahead. So sometimes it is not the one who erect or the road, the damage, or the who erect the roadblock or the danger. Sometimes it's different person or different or someone else. Sometimes someone else might be behind the scene. You might not see the person. Physically, you might not see the person. He is right there behind the scene, causing the havoc or preparing to erect damages in the future marriage, which is why you don't have to fight each other physically. Sometimes in the marriage, you see that the people who love themselves, who vow that I will love you the rest of my life, as long as we are married, I will love you. Before you realize, as time goes on, eventually they become worst enemies. The reason, some of the reason is because there is someone behind the scene causing havoc. The importance of the sign, the importance of the sign or the signs you encounter is to warn you about the danger ahead of you. And also the one behind, which is the enemy behind the danger. It is by your explicit observation and knowledge about the scenario and your careful decision making that would determine whether you would do a turn around and avoid the danger, or to ignore the warning sign and drive through to the end being a victim or becoming a victim. So it's about you, it's about your decision making that will determine what you do. What do you do? Either you turn around or you ignore. And that's what is happening in people's marriages. A lot of people ignore the signs. The sign for God will always give you signs of warning. Signs of warning when something is about to happen to affect your marriage, to demonize your marriage. God would always place a sign, a warning sign. But most people ignore it. People ignore it. And after ignoring it, and the consequence, something happened, then they turned back and then murmur and then ask God, why me? But they forgot that there was a sign, but they choose to ignore it. In fact, no one expects conflict in marriage. No one expects conflict in the marriage, but it happens. It happens. The reason is because two separate people from two different homes, from two different parental upbringings, from two different cultural backgrounds, and two different belief systems come together. These people has been brought up. They have been brought up in this distinctive system of living. And then they have been brought up since their birth until their married time. So looking at this scenario, apparently, both parties would definitely experience things differently as they both come together for the first time, because they come from different homes, they come from different backgrounds, they come from different parental homes, they come from different culture, they come from different belief system. So whatever the case may be, things may not be the way they may think it will be. But this is why God, the initiator of marriage, he says to the new couple, God says to the new couple in the Garden of Eden, the first couple, which is also applied to us, he said, for this reason, because you come from different parental background, because you come from different culture, because you have been there for years, and you have been used to that culture, that system of upbringing and whatever, and belief system. He said, for this reason, Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, for this reason, a man shall leave his father and shall leave his mother and be joined to his wife. Or let me add also to his husband. Be joined to his eyes, and they shall become one flesh. For this reason, because of the differences, they have to leave their father's house. This expression suggests leaving your distinctive system of living to create a fresh new home where you will learn to understand each other systematically and patiently, which does not happen a day. It does not happen just one day. It continues. It continues throughout your entire married time, learning each other and practicing what you learn in the marriage. It continues almost every day, as long as you are married. The reason is because both of you came from, as I explained already, you've been living from different backgrounds for years until you become like whatever age you reach, you get to the marriage age. So it's not just easy to take it, just take it. So when you are about to enter into marriage, you need to consider all these things. Except for this reason, because of that, you leave your distinctive system, leave behind, leave all these things behind. You leave them behind. It therefore requires each marriage, leaving this thing behind, therefore requires each marriage. It requires each marriage partner to develop a different heart and attitude. Let me say it again. Living your distinctive system of living from your background, this kind of living, it has a lot of things to consider. Living means living those kind of the things that might cause conflict in the family. You leave them, those attitude, those kind of upbringings which differs, you leave them all and then come together to create a new form of home, with a new form of belief, with a new form of culture, which will unite you together and bring peace and tranquility. So, as I said, it requires each partner to develop a different heart and the attitude and attitude. Which Paul wrote something. There is not this time to read all about. Paul wrote something in Colossians, in the book of Colossians chapter 3. Colossians chapter 3 verse 12 to 16. But let me read the 12. I think maybe let me look at the 12 and then maybe the 13. Colossians chapter 3 verse 12. It says, so as though, this Paul wrote, so as those who have been chosen of God, holy and beloved, put on a heart of compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, bearing with one another and forgiving each other. Whoever has a complaint against anyone, just as Lord forgave you, so also should you. So blah 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 blah. If you go for read Corinthians 14, says, beyond all these things, put on love, which is the perfect bond of unity. So you come out of your father's house, your mother's house. That's why I say it's expression of living the baggages, living the baggage, the old attitude, and then come and create a form of home with good understanding between each other, between yourself. So it takes time, as I say, it takes time. It takes years. It takes days, months, and years. So Paul, as I said, Paul is saying that you need to create a new heart, a new attitude, a new mind. You need to create a new heart. The enemy, one thing you need to note is that the enemy is not the only one who erects the roadblock or the danger in your marriage. It's not the enemy is not as I said earlier, the enemy is not the only one who erects the danger. he is not the only one who causes the damage in the marriage. The enemy is not the only one, but the enemy sometimes depend on the behavior of the couple to demonize their own marriage. Let me say it again. The enemy is not, sometimes he's not the enemy is not the alone. It's not the only one who create the havoc, who create the damages in the marriage. Because sometimes he uses the couple, he uses yourself, he uses you to demonize your own, to demonize your own marriage. So as a result, the couple becomes the enemies of, or you become the enemy of your own marriage. Because because you allow it. If you don't allow the enemy will not come. Because God has mandated us and empowered us by his name, by his word. So you need to protect yourself by the principles of God and by God's might, by God's word, by God's power, to avoid the enemy, to avoid him from having his way into your marriage, to deceive you, to become enemy of yourself. So watch out what I'm talking about. Your attitude, whatever you do, whatever you say, sometimes makes you the enemy yourself. The curses you curse each other, the language you speak against each other, and the acts, whatever you do, sometimes if it is not positive and it's negative, then it becomes the enemy of yourself. You become the enemy of your whole marriage. So don't say Satan have done it, because he's not the only one. For instance, let me give this a scenario. There's this thing. There is this young man who was warned to stay away from a lady that he intended to, the lady that he was dating, which he intended to marry. The mother of the woman saw them, and the guy went to the house to the lady's house one time, and the woman saw it, said no. So he asked the daughter, her daughter, where is this man from? Blah blah blah, the question, and then he told them, send the daughter, so go and warn this man. I don't like this man to come to this house. Warn this man that warn this man that there is a stool or a stronghold in our house which doesn't welcome a stranger to marry from our home. So ask the man for the safety of his life. Ask him to stay away from you for the safety of himself. So if you happen to experience this kind of sign, you need to watch out. Sometimes even you are fortunate that somebody will give you a sign or tell you about that. So you need to watch out. Don't just feel arrogant that I will do it, because you remember, you are entering into someone's zone. You are entering into someone's stronghold, someone's home, someone's zone. So you need to watch out. Eventually, something happened with this dating or relationship. Eventually, the relationship could not continue. The reason is because there was a continuous conflict. From that time, both of them ignored. They ignored this. Especially the man ignored the warning. So I said, "Wow, but I love. It is the girl I love. It's the girl." But remember, I said, you are entering into. When you marry, you are not marrying only the woman. But I mean, there is something about the family, the connection about the family in the married life. So you need to watch out. They couldn't continue because of the everyday conflict, all the time conflict. The whole married life changed all of a sudden. It changed, and both of them became enemies. So watch out if certain things like that happen, and you ignore it, and you continue and you marry. Watch out. Guess what happens. And these are the causes of the damages, the causes of the havoc, the causes of the issues and the conflicts in the marriage. Some of them are these things. Most of the people ignore the signpost, the warning sign. Abraham strongly, this is the reason why Abraham strongly requested his servant. I mentioned the one day when I was teaching, I met some weeks ago, he requested his servant Eliezer to ensure that he will not take a wife for his son Isaac from the daughters of the Canaanites. In Genesis chapter 24:3. So what about the Canaanites? What is about the Canaanites? So what somebody would say is that someone would say is that Abraham is a racist. We will say it's Abraham a racist. Why not the Canaanites? Why is it about the Canaanites? But he was not racist. Rather, Abraham understood the principles of God, and he had considered the damages or the danger behind marrying a Canaanite man, a woman. He considered, he understood. Abraham understood the principles of God. What am I talking about? God says in Deuteronomy chapter, God warned the children of Israel. He warned them, the Abraham and his descendant. He warned them. If you look at Genesis chapter, Deuteronomy chapter, the fifth book of Moses, Deuteronomy chapter 7, from verse 3 to 4, verse 3 going on, it said, you shall not intermarry with the daughters of the Canaanites. If you do it, as they would eventually turn your heart from following God. They would turn your heart from following God. The moment your heart is turned from following God, you are finished. There will become that is where problems start from marriage. Your marriage problem will start when your heart turns from God. One example is Solomon. Solomon, the son of David, God gave him, he requested God he could give him wisdom. This is the man, the wise man. This is the wise man who God gave him wisdom. The wise man and the most richest man in the history of human. This is the man. This is the man. He had everything. This is the man. Before Solomon realized, Solomon was dancing, how do you call it? Worshipping idols. Dancing with them. Solomon was worshiping because of the lady, the woman he married. The woman he married, they brought the idols from their parental homes. Solomon married his concubines, his girlfriends, and his married women were about 1,000. So I'm not talking about the number. I'm not talking about number. I'm talking about what they brought into the marriage because of the source where he married from. They brought their idols, and Solomon he was obliged to build altars, temples for their idols. See, so you when it come to this, you shall not intermarry with the Canaan. When they talk about Canaan, it's talking about unbelievers. It's talking about those who are with you. That's why I said, somebody said, what are you talking about? Are they not human beings? They are. You are the decision maker on your own. The very person who can create difference for improvement is your own self. For improvement, what I mean, improving your marriage, boosting your marriage is your own self. You are the only one who can work out to avoid or fix the damages. Not someone else. Not the marriage counselor. Not the pastor, not the prophet who may charge you to pay money and he will pray for you and he fix your marriage. I'm telling you, not them. For myself, I can help you. The only help I can give you is to guide you through God's word. It will guide you through teaching. But you are the main man. You are the main woman who can deal with your marriage. In fact, most of the damages in marriages have their sources from the differences in the belief system. The differences in the belief system. Most of the so they said what God was telling the Israelites, if you do it, they will turn your heart. They will turn your heart. Somebody said, if I married an unbeliever, I will turn the unbeliever. I will how do you call turn him to I will save his life. I will save his life. I will bring him to Christ or her to Christ. I will, but don't try. Don't try. Don't give a try. Don't take that risk. It's a risk. Don't take that risk, because before you realize, that's why I'm giving you example of Solomon. If you could do that, God will not tell you stay away from them. Paul said, do not. He said something. Paul said in 2 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 14. But he said, do not be bound together. Do not be bound together with the unbelievers. For what partnership have righteousness and lawlessness? What partnership? Or what fellowship has light and darkness with darkness? So Paul is warning. Paul is all in New Testament. Paul is always warning: do not bound together with the unbeliever. Do not bound. For what partnership? What partnership have righteousness and lawlessness? What partnership have with righteousness and lawlessness, or what fellowship has with light and darkness? You see, it's just like Abraham. Somebody will say, the Apostle Paul is racist. What are you talking about? But just like Abraham, Apostle Paul was not racist. He's not talking about, rather, he was, remember, Paul was the unique apostle, the unique disciple, the apostle who reached out to the Gentiles. His mission was to reach out to the Gentiles of the world. So if you tell me he's a racist, what do you understand by Gentiles? Gentiles was those who are far outside Israel, those who doesn't belong to who are not Israelites. They are the Gentiles. So if he has to reach out, he traveled outside Israel, went to the Gentiles and reached out to them and brought them to Christ. So if the same person is telling you, do not be bound together with unbelievers, for what partnership have with righteousness? If the same person is telling you that it's serious, watch out, it's serious. The same person. So don't go about saying he is racist. He is not. He is applying the principles of God. He is considering the principles of God over he's applying the principles. So Apostle Paul is telling us, or is warning you, the right thing to do. The very point Paul was trying to make is that you cannot still remain in your mother's or your parents' home and unite with your spouse. You cannot. What he means that you have to leave those baggage, those things, those systems, and then come together. Leave your parents, your mother's house, as Genesis was saying. Genesis chapter 2 was saying 24. Leave your father's house or your mother's house, and then come together to join with your husband to become one flesh. This what Paul is about. The point Paul is trying to make is that you cannot remain with your father's house and then still unite with your spouse. You cannot do that. You must leave your father's home. You must leave everything about that home. You must leave your unbelieving system. You must leave your unbelief system and then come together to create a new form of home, a new home, and a new belief system. In other words, when someone is repented, when someone comes out from the world, comes out from idol worshiping, comes out from whatever habit, whatever attitude, and then become the child of God, then there will be understanding. Then you can come together to unite together. Otherwise, you cannot find unity. It is not possible because when sometimes we say, especially religion, sometimes you will meet somebody, a Muslim man will meet because we want to marry the woman. We say, or the man will say, I will change. Or sometimes he say, it doesn't matter. We understand ourselves. But I'm telling you, eventually, when he gets you finished, he will like you to change to Islam. And you know that this there is aggressive. You have to. And when you don't do it, then it turns to another something else. These are some of the things where the marriage conflicts begins. So we need to watch out, and we need to follow the principles and respect the principles of God. If you want someone, and if you want the person to marry, you need to take your time very well. And that is not, it's not 2 days, that is not 3 days, that is not 1 month, that is not even 1 year. It takes, if you want that person and you want to convert that person, then you need to have time. If you say you love only that person you want to marry, then you need long time, and you make sure that the person is converted before you can, because it's the thing that has to do with two different languages, two different norms, two different languages. It won't work. It won't work. God said, don't, he said, don't get married. Don't give your daughters or your sons to the Canaanites. Don't. So Abraham asked the servant, said, you need to vow. Hold my ties and vow that you would do that. Because if you do that, I have a covenant with God. If you do that, that covenant will not fulfill. I want that covenant to come to pass. God said, I will bless you and your descendants. And your descendants shall be, I'll make your descendants out of you. I'll make create a nation. So Abraham expected this thing to happen. Remember, you have a covenant with God. Maybe you don't know, but I'm telling you, the God who created you have a covenant with you. The covenant is you have to adhere to his principles and then fulfill his purpose. He has a covenant with you. He has a covenant with you. Marriage is a covenant. God, marriage creates nations. Out of the marriage, God intends to bless you. But until this happens, you don't need to do things on your own. You need to follow the principles of God. Principles. Because he is the instigator. He is the initiator of the marriage. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord guide you. May the Lord. You need God. You need God. When you stay away, from God. You stay out of God, away from God. You have a problem in the marriage. You have a problem. That's why Apostle Paul was saying. Apostle was saying, what has light fellow? What has lawlessness or fellowship has with light? No, let me say. He said, do not be bound together with unbelievers. For what partnership has with righteousness, and what lawlessness or what fellowship has with light, and with what light has with darkness? They don't blend. They don't agree. So you need to watch out. And anytime you experience warning sign, you need to check out. You need to consider the sign, and you need to observe the sign, and you need to know that whether God is speaking to you. You need to know. You need to know when you are, sometimes because you are desperate, and because you love the woman, and because you love the man, you go for it. In any way you want to go, just go for it. But that is where the danger is. You go for it because there is danger behind that love. Don't misunderstand me. There is not, I'm not talking about every love, or every woman or every man. I'm not talking about that. If you look at this, I'm focusing today I'm focusing on beliefs, belief system, different belief system, distinctive belief system. So you need to watch out when you are going. Don't just go ignore those signs. I gave example when I was started. When you are driving, and you see on the road, when you meet those signs on the road, you don't go. If you go, you will meet what you don't want to. You will experience what you don't want to experience. And the same similar thing or even worse thing is in the marriage. So my prayer is that you celebrate, you enjoy your marriage. My prayer is that everyone, I bless God for my marriage, and I want everyone to experience sweet marriage. But it takes hard work. It takes hard work. You don't just sit down. It takes hard work. It takes hard work, especially the principles of God, and which people don't want. Principles of God and prayer, which people don't. These are the two things that people don't want. The two powerful things in marriage which people don't want, because we struggle with, not with flesh and blood. That's why I was telling you that that's the roadblock. The enemy causes it, the enemy, but it's not alone. It's not the enemy alone who causes the roadblock or who causes the danger in the marriage. Because sometimes I say he uses, remember I said it, sometimes he uses your attitude, your negative attitude. He uses your attitude he depends on your attitude for you to so that as a result you demonize your own marriage, and then you will be blaming God. The reason is because you ignore God's sign. So if you ignore his sign, you don't blame him. You don't blame him. This great word of God has been made available. Let me say this because I'm talking about marriage. Just for your marriage has been available, just for your marriage, just for your healthy, your joyous, and your peaceful marriage. But if you ignore it, there is a consequence. May God see you through. May God preserve you. May God boost your marriage. May God bring peace in your marriage. May God enlighten the eyes of your understanding so that you will get the picture, the clear picture of what I am teaching. And these kind of teachings will be coming every week. These are the things people don't want to hear because people want magic. But I'm not called to play magic. I'm called to teach. So if you humble yourself and listen, I'm not the only teacher. You listen to set teachings like this, men of God, rather than paying money to so-called prophets to boost your marriage. You are making mistakes. You are making mistakes. Why not bringing the money to me? For me, if you give it to me, just give it to me free. If you give it to me, I'm not saying I'll pray for you. Just give it to me. if you have enough, or if you have enough, give it to charity. Forgive it to me. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. So your marriage is what matters me. Your marriage. That is the essence of this platform, marriage life. Sorry, this is the platform. So may God richly bless you, and invite someone and share. Please share. Share this kind of teachings. Next week we'll be looking at the elements that hinders people from getting married. People are suffering. Look, there are pretty ladies. They are beautiful and handsome men looking for marriage, and there are a lot of women there. They can't get married. There are some men that they can't marry because there is a strong something hindering them. So we'll be looking at these things. If you are there, and it seems like the road is blocked. The road is blocked. I assure you that everything to God, everything is possible. But you need to do what the word of God is telling you, what the teaching is telling you. You need to do. You need to humble yourself, and then the way will pave. I'm not just kidding. There is no time to give testimonies about what the Lord has used me to people's marriages. There is no time to give testimonies. So I'm telling you that God can do it. God can fix it. God can make that way. He can remove that block. That roadblock, he can remove it. God can remove it. He can do it it's just a peanut for God. But God is expecting your heart, expecting your humility, expecting you. So make a point, and then ensure that you join this this platform. Sister Esther, God bless you so much. God bless you so much. You are blessed. You are blessed. Esther from Düsseldorf, Germany. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. So, shall we pray shortly? May the Lord, mighty God, we thank you. We adore you. I give you praise. I give you all the glory, all the adoration. You deserve all the glory, and there is nothing like you. Thank you for this message. I pray that, Lord, you will bless every marriage. I pray that, Lord, every hindrance, everything, every roadblock, that and every damages and whatever it is, my prayer that you can do everything. There is nothing that is difficult for you. Fix those marriages and let your people I liberate those marriages. I liberate your people, and I destroy every hindrance and everything that doesn't bring peace in people's marriage. I destroy, I remove you out of the way in the name of Jesus. And I say, Lord Jesus, remain the stronghold, remain the fortress in these marriages, and let your people enjoy and celebrate you in Jesus' name. Amen. See you next week. Next week, see you next next Saturday, 8 p.m. UK time. Join the group, and God will richly bless you. Tomorrow will be discovering your marriage, discovering the truth at 11 a.m. Sundays 11 a.m. So this thing, Johnny Will's ministry live in Facebook. God bless you. Bless you, Sister Esther. God bless you so much. God bless you so much. So God is with you. Amen. So we see you. I see you next week. God bless you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Share it, please. Share it. Share it. Bye-bye. God bless you.